Today in the diner, we're gonna recreate an old dish from my grandma, your great grandma, straight out of the Midwest, and it's spaghetti. It's a spaghetti recipe. Nowadays, you might call it a bolognese, but when I grew up, it was just spaghetti. That's all it was. That's what we ate for spaghetti. And let me tell you, it's got a couple of secret ingredients that I don't think the Italians ever thought they would ever put into spaghetti. Let's take a look at the ingredients. All right, let's go over the ingredients. We got spaghetti, of course, and Velveeta. We're gonna use half a pound of Velveeta. It's like the roux in a bolognese, but it's just Velveeta. And you don't have to refrigerate it. Pieces and stems of canned mushrooms. This is the texture of mushrooms that I grew up with. I had no idea what fresh mushrooms were like because I've only had these rubbery things. And you know what? I still love them. Worcestershire sauce. The recipe is passed down from my mom said 5 or 7 swirls of Worcestershire sauce. Got tomato paste, our good old go-to green tube of Parmesan cheese. I am making 2 substitutions in this. I like to brown the ground beef with a little fennel because it makes it taste like sausage. And I'm going to use Impossible ground beef so that Mom can eat this recipe, since she will not eat anything with a cute face, and we all agree that cows are cute. First thing we got to do is brown the ground beef. I have never browned cooked, sears, and tastes like ground beef. Should, but 100% animal. Okay, so this Impossible ground beef says that it should act just like ground beef. So let's give her a shot. This seems harder than it should be. Oh, look at that. Fake ground beef. All right, there's one. It doesn't smell like ground beef. I'll tell you what it smells like. It smells like dog food. Yeah, that's interesting. I also bought a pound of ground beef, so I can make this for carnivores also. All right, let's get some fire on that. I'm gonna do probably medium heat. It's good. Oh, I hear Mom sneaking in. First thing when you're grounding up ground beef is to get it crumbled. That is an aroma. I remember when ground turkey kind of became a thing and everybody was telling you to not eat red meat and you're supposed to eat ground turkey, and I cannot stand the texture of ground turkey. It's just not right. I love turkey. I love turkey breast. I love turkey thighs. I love turkey legs. I love turkey wings. Everything turkey. I like dark meat and white meat. But I did not like ground turkey. So we'll find out how this goes. All right, that seems pretty good for browning. Let's get some fennel in there. You don't need that much. That seems about right. One of the very hardest things about this dish is to get the pasta and the bolognese done at the right time. And I really don't know how long it's gonna take for this impossible meat to cook. So I'm gonna let it cook down before I start boiling the water. We'll see if we can get close. Let me get some water in there. All right, let's get that going. Whoa, wrong one. That's why they have those diagrams on there. All right, Velveeta. For those of you uninitiated in the ways of Velveeta, it comes in a brick. And the really only way to do it is to pull that off. But then you have a brick, and look, just like butter, you can tell how much you're gonna use. Whatever. Let me get out my not so fancy cutting board. We're gonna use, let's see, we just realized that we're making 150%. So instead of 8 ounces, we're gonna use 12 ounces. There you go. Velveeta. Oh my goodness. This stuff, I'll tell you what. There's some pretty good Velveeta trivia. Anybody want to guess how old it is? Go ahead and guess. You think Velveeta came out in the what? The atomic age, maybe in the 50s, when everybody was thinking about, you know, how to survive a nuclear winter. And they're like, damn, let's make some Velveeta. All right, let's just chop this up so it'll melt faster. Well, you would be wrong. Velveeta, it turns out, was invented in 1918 and purchased by Kraft. And I can't remember exactly. I think it was 1928, 1927 maybe. So in fact, in a couple of years here, Velveeta will be celebrating its 100th year of being purchased by Kraft. Let's get that in the meat. Unfortunately, I forgot to push record on the camera while I did all of this. So what I'm gonna tell you is, I browned the, you saw that bit. I added the Velveeta, I added the mushrooms, I added a little dab of hot sauce and 5 swoops, swirls. Mom used to call them swirls of Worcestershire sauce, but I forgot to push the play button. So this is kind of what we got so far. I've got it on a very low heat because I don't need it to reduce anymore. It's quite thick. And I think that the difference in thickness was caused by the lack of fat from ground beef. Using the Impossible meat is, I think there's no fat in it at all. But it did brown up nicely. The pasta, I've got a timer on for 12 minutes. I like mine al dente. Oh, definitely tastes like it. All right, let's dump this pasta and get her in there. All right, that was a quick drain. I'm not gonna rinse it. We're going straight in there. And this was spaghetti when I was growing up. And I ain't gonna lie, I ate it. I love it. I'm gonna find out if I love it when you make it with the Impossible meat, but oh, that's great. All right. Yeah. Look at that. Oh, this is definitely a very creamy very meaty. I would call it a bolognese. But you gotta serve it with a little Parmesan cheese on top. So there you go, you got it. That is my spaghetti that I grew up with, that your great grandma passed down to your grandma, and that's how I ate it. Squishy, chewy, rubbery mushrooms and all. Don't forget to put everything back in the refrigerator, and don't forget to do the dishes. There we go.